I have been talking to all of the teams that are in my schedule and with coaching at Tom Ferry, and hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration, motivation that would launch your 2024 with some activation here, guys. It's Realtors New Year's Eve. Tomorrow is real estate New Year's Day. That doesn't mean you guys can go out and have reasons to party and start slow tomorrow. This is it. 2024, your New Year's Day is now. It's happening. It's launching right now. Typically, unless you're, doing a cash transaction that's going to close like that which you do here forward isn't going to close or renew until 2024. So I'm hoping that at a minimum, where you're at today, you've got your business plan in place, you've got your goals in place, you've got maybe your vision board up, you know where your business is going to come from, you've done your KPIs, your key performance indicators, and you've seen, okay, if this is how many closings I want to have, this is where my days and my weeks need to look like in order to be able to get there. If you haven't, today's the day. Today's the day you got to set that intention and create that plan. But I want to ask you guys some questions. When I talk like this, guys, when I do a coaching call with a group of 50 to 80 agents, it's interactive. I know it might be a little crazy to do it interactive, but I want to challenge you guys to do a little bit of, for those of you that are in the Provident room, that's going to be a little challenging. Maybe you can have one person put some answers up there, but I want you guys to open up the chat in your Zoom. And I want to challenge you to answer this question. When it comes to your goal, your intention for your business for 2024, what are some of the top impediments for you? What are some of the things that get in the way, are going to get in the way? Like, your awareness right now needs to escalate. It needs to increase. What gets in the way of you hitting your goal in 2024? Put it in the chat. I'll read it out. I'll give you guys some props and put it on the recording. So what are some of the things that are going to get in the way of you accomplishing your goals in 2024? Whoever is over there at Team Provident, put it in the chat for that keyboard. Consistency, lack of consistency. Yes, Jose. Consistency in my schedule. Agreed, Sophia. Keep going. What are some of the things that are your personal impediments? It's kind of like own your stuff right now, right? Own it. What is your impediments? Not doing what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. That would definitely get in the way. Your mindset after your 2023 performance. Maybe 2023 performance was off compared to prior years, and your mindset is in a funk. Okay. Mindset's off. Give me one more. One more. What is your impediment? Top impediment? Distractions. Finally, somebody said it. Thank you, Sarah. 100% agree. So I want you guys to write down one word that would encompass all of which you guys just wrote down, and maybe then some. One word that is everybody's impediment to their goals, regardless of the year. You ready? One word. Whirlwind. The whirlwind. It's your whirlwind is different from my whirlwind, but every one of us has a whirlwind. A whirlwind is, Jose, the agent on the other side of the transaction not getting back to you. The whirlwind is your buyer that will not make a decision. The whirlwind is you spending way too much time working on that one flyer for your open house this weekend instead of doing lead gen time. Whirlwind is the agents that won't leave you alone when all you want to do is prospect. Whirlwind is your technology that won't work today and you just wanted to sit down and work in your CRM and things aren't working. The internet's down, whatever it might be. All of those things are the whirlwind. And I want to argue, guys, that your number one offense to your whirlwind, oh, let me just tell you bad news, by the way. Whirlwind never goes away. No matter how good you are, no matter what you implement in today's conversation, your whirlwind is never going to go away. However, we can apply some tactics. We can apply some offense to make the whirlwind dissipate. Instead of making it feel like it's engulfing you, make it dissipate. Your whirlwind is the thing that at the end of your day, you go home and you're like, what the heck did I do all day? I was busy, I was slammed, I burned the candle at both ends, but you sit down at the end of the day and you're like, but did I actually move the needle? Did I actually do something that made a difference? The whirlwind is always there. Two things, though, that can help you dissipate your whirlwind. Not make it, it's never going to go away, but I want to make it decrease. I want to help you see above that marine layer and be able to go, wow, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm at. I know what it took to win the day. Number one, it's called metacognition. The number one thing you need to do to go after your whirlwind is be self-aware. Starting with the things that you may just have typed down in the chat. What are the things that are in your way, going to get in your way of you accomplishing your goals? Start with, don't just say it's distraction. What are the things that distract you? Get aware of them. That whole act, metacognition, that act of being self-aware is our own teaching tool. When we're aware of our triggers, when we're aware of our distractions, when we're aware of the people that are our distractions or the technology things that mess us up, we can actually begin to dissipate or eliminate them. Number two, the best tactic to your whirlwind are these 4 disciplines that I'm going to give you today. And if you're taking notes, I hope you are. If you took a piece of paper, or maybe it's your iPad, or just on the left-hand margin, I want you to write these 4 words down and just kind of space them out so you can put notes around them and jot down some thoughts for you. The first word I want you to write down is the word focus. The second word, write down the word leverage. The third word is the word engagement. Engagement. And the fourth word is the word accountability. So many years, one of my mentors introduced me to these 4 words, and they're from a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution, unbelievable sales management philosophy. The challenge is the book is written for business in general. The book isn't just a theory. The book is an actual practice that the authors of the 4 Disciplines of Execution had been implementing for nearly 2 decades before they wrote the book. And they were finding that there were common practices in very successful businesses that helped them get out of the whirlwind, despite the whirlwind still happening, help them move the needle, stay consistent with focus, leverage, engagement, and accountability. And here's how we could unpack it for the real estate industry. And the guy that mentored me on it said, Andy, you got to read this book. And then 3 months later, he called me and said, did you read the book? And, it's kind of one of those things like on my shelf back here, there's like 37 books I haven't read yet, but it was one of those books on the shelf. And I'm like, Dan, I haven't read it yet. And he's like, if you don't read it, I'm not talking to you again. So I read the book and it changed my mindset about leadership. I saw how he used these 4 disciplines in his brokerage of 1,600 agents and his 40-some managers and offices, and how he helped them measure what matters and report back and accelerate their results as a company. And I want to give you those 4 words to apply them right now and activate them from your goals into your New Year's Day. Okay? So discipline number 1, guys, is the discipline of focus. And I want you to put in the chat right now, what is it that you're focused on accomplishing in your business in 2024? What are you focused on accomplishing in your business in 2024? Put in the chat. By the way, your answer is going to inspire somebody else's, and somebody else's answer is going to inspire you. So whoever is our Team Provident transcriber, please type it in. That'd be awesome. But what is your focus of a goal in 2024? Go ahead. I'll wait. Your focus is consistency? Is that what I'm reading? Okay. Keep going. What are you focused on accomplishing in your business in 2024? Come on, guys. Better follow-up. Consistency. Not stopping your day-to-day tasks too soon. Sticking to your schedule. Okay, so stop where you are. This typically happens with this question. What I want you to write down under the word focus is my focus has got to be that which is wildly important. The things that you're actually writing down are ways that you accomplish that which is wildly important. What are you shooting for in 2024? What really matters? What is it that you need to do that funds your great life? You're not working to live. You are working to fund a great life. You don't live to work either. You work to fund a great life. So what great life are you trying to fund? How, like really specifically, guys, your focus is from X to Y by when? My focus is, this is how many homes I'm going to sell by the end of 2024 or November 30th of 2024. Get crystal clear. My focus isn't just here, it's also visual. My focus, I have the number of homes that I'm going to sell up in visual. I have the things that that's going to fund, the places I'm going to go, the things I'm going to acquire, the things I'm going to do up in visual. My focus is the number of homes. My secondary focus is the things that that funds. Are you guys with me on this? Try not to focus on more than two things. In the book, the author actually unpacks, and I've seen this over the last decade, they unpack the law of diminishing return. When you try to focus on too many things and you've got too many projects going on, you don't get that much done. There's studies on this. They say when you get 4 to 6 things in your focus, you get 2 things done. And when you get 6 to 10 things in your focus, you get 1 thing done. So guess what? Focus on no more than 2 things. You'll get 2 things done. But make those 2 things the most wildly important thing that you want that funds the other things in your life. Your consistency, the things that you guys wrote down. Come on, Dorian Gray's assistant, get out of the way there. The things that you write down, stick into your schedule, consistency, better follow-up, etc. All of those things are important, but they're not your primary focus because they aren't the meaningful target. What are you focused on? Now, once you establish that which you're focused on, the number of homes that you're going to sell in 2024, in most of our mind's eyes, guys, watch, it's like the crest, the summit of a mountain. And whether you've done one of those major mountain, the 14K climbs, if you haven't done something like that, standing at base camp looking up is what it looks like right now for you and your goal. Oh my gosh, you might have 25, 50, 100 homes on your focus for 2024. And right now, there's no way you're going to do that in 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. So how do you do it? You go to discipline number 2. And you apply some leverage. I like the actual analogy that the goal that you have is more like a 4,000-pound boulder. Just imagine Team Provident right there in the middle of that room. Imagine a 2-ton boulder sitting right there in the middle of that room. Who's the strongest person in the room? So nobody? Who's the strongest person in the room? You guys looking at each other. Whoever the strongest person in the room is, no matter how much strength they have, no matter how much leverage they have, no matter how low they get, can they move that 4,000-pound boulder across the room by themselves? No. But what would happen, guys, if we applied some leverage by grabbing a strong wedge in a really strong bar and pulling down on that bar? What does this leverage represent in your business? And this is the part I really need to help you unpack. You've got to figure this part out for yourself. It starts with one primary action. Our business of real estate is really easy to track. Our business of real estate is easy to see where are the leverage points, because we can have a linear consumer flow. We have a linear process where we talk to somebody, we generate a lead, they go into our CRM, we nurture that lead. And over time, when we nurture it, it then converts into an appointment set, then appointment met, then contract, and then closing, right? Well, which one of those key things in the linear process of a consumer life cycle is the most leverage? Some would say, well, it's just my lead generation time. I need to be more consistent about my lead gen time. You don't get paid for time. The number one most influencing and predictive lead measure in the life cycle of our consumer is new appointments met. So if you want to really go after leverage in your business, how many new appointments met do you need per week to get your closing? Hey guys, if your focus over here is 25 transactions in 2024, and you need to do 2 new appointments a week, what else matters? How do you win the day? How do you win the week? Did I set an appointment? Did I go on 2 new appointments this week? You might have had the S hitting the fan in terms of busyness and chaos and disruption, but you still got your 2 new appointments a week. You won the week. But the ultimate question here is, where do you find your new appointment number? And when it comes to leverage, the challenge that I've seen over the 7-8 years that I've been coaching and the 25 years that I've been in the business, the number one challenge I see when it comes to this piece is we just write down that I need X number of new appointments. And we don't go into our schedule and get the leverage in our schedule. In other words, if your goal is 3 or 4 new appointments a week, where are they going to come from? And let's just say, for the sake of conversation, that you dissect that they're coming from 4 different lead sources. You've got online leads, you've got past clients in Sphere, you've got open houses, and maybe geographic farming. So my question is, where would I see those 4 lead generation activities inside your calendar? Don't just write lead gen from 9 to 11. Get strategic about it. You're doing Zillow lead follow-up from 9 to 9:30. You're doing past clients in Sphere from 9:30 to 10:30. You're doing other activities from 10:30 to 11, whatever lead source it is. For open houses, you start on a Monday and researching which house am I going to hold open this week. On Wednesday, you do something on social that's going to be for that open house. Thursday afternoon, you're knocking doors and inviting all the neighbors to the open house. Friday, you're doing another thing for social, and Saturday, you do the open house. That's being strategic. Well, why not right now go block out how many open houses you're going to do in 2024? And if you don't have a listing to hold open, who on your team can you hold open? Who else in the marketplace can you hold open? Your leverage is more than just an appointment. How many appointments do you need? Where are they going to come from? Get that reversed engineered into your schedule. So we have your focus. We have your leverage. Now what? Discipline number 3 is the discipline of engagement. How many of you have a professional sports team that you like to go see? I know my good friend who's not on this call, Matt Farnham, is all about the Las Vegas Knights. Shauna, is it up here on your head? Because you have like Padre colors on a Dodger hat. I've never seen that.
Well, I'm a Raiders fan, but I also have a Raiders hat in blue, red.
All right, cool. Love the pro hats. So Raiders fan, by the way, go Vegas. Great arena, great new stadium, Allegiant Stadium, unbelievable stadium, right? Imagine going to your favorite team's arena. The vibe, everything is and the scoreboard doesn't work. And you go to your friends, hey, who's winning? They're like, I don't know. I think we're winning. Look, because you see cheering on the field. No, I don't think that's because we're winning. I think we just made a good play. Hey guys, watch. Most of you are running your business just like that. You're running your business and you don't know whether or not you're winning at any given point in time. You're running your business and you couldn't see what's your score. Matter of fact, your only definition of score is how much money's in my bank account and do I have enough to pay my bills this month? That's not winning. That's barely getting by. So the principle of engagement says this: you've got to have a compelling scoreboard that in 5 seconds or less tells you whether or not you're winning. And that scoreboard shouldn't focus on more than 3 things, because too much data, like consider your Raiders and your football score, you can see home team versus visitors. You can see how much time is left, what quarter we're in, and what yard line we're on in the down. That's it. Simple. But the best part is I could look up and be really familiar in 5 seconds or less, know whether or not I'm winning, right? The second thing though is those 3 things that you want to track. Guys, write this down. What's your goal for the year and what percentage are you at? My goal is 25 transactions and currently I'm at 0. Number 2, how many new appointments a week do you need and how many did you do in the last 7 days? Tracking those 2 things every week for at least 90-day increments will show you your trends, will show you your inconsistencies, will show you when you've been lazy. Will you see 3 weeks in a row that you've been off course on your new appointments met? You're going to get to work and make an adjustment. Starts with your goal, what percentage you're at. Then it's new appointments and how did I do in the last 7 days? So if your new appointments goal is 2, did you get your 2 in the last 7 days? And you're tracking that every single week. It's a simple Google sheet, guys. You could even go so much further as to make your new appointments number red or green. So in 5 seconds or less, you can see whether or not you're winning. And if it's red, you got too many reds on there, you've not been winning. The third thing to track though is not quantifiable. The third thing to track is, what are you committed to doing this week to improve your scoreboard? What are you committed to doing this week that would have the biggest impact on your scoreboard, your appointments, your closings, whatever it might be, improving over the course of time? It's not necessarily that you're going to find a closing this week, but you could find new appointments, or you could be taking all of the contacts out of here and putting them in your CRM and actually working your SOI this year. Your commitment, though, is like the team on the field running plays that work. Because the scoreboard might be a great scoreboard, but it still shows you haven't been winning. So if you aren't winning, what adjustments are you making? And the real power in a scoreboard is, am I changing plays? Am I making new commitments? Am I connecting to master classes like this that give me ideas and inspiration to change the plays so I can have better commitments and make more adjustments on my scoreboard? I've seen commitments on teams that I coach that are weak sauce, like do more follow-up. Congratulations, you're just going to get rewarded for nothing, because that's very, very general. I see great commitments on there that say, I'm adding 25 names from my phone to my SOI this week, or I'm going to take my lead follow-up number that's at 252 and reduce it down to 75 in my filters. What commitments you make makes all the difference in improving your scoreboard. So we got your focus right, we got your leverage, we have your engagement. And if you can picture these 3 disciplines up on the wall, the discipline of focus says we got to focus on the wildly important goal, no more than 2 things, and we got to have it up and visual and see it all the time. Discipline number 2 says we're going to act on the lead measures, the things that move the needle, the things that really are the wedge with the downward pressure that cause the bullet to move across the room. In our business, that's new appointments met. Can't say that any faster. Discipline number 3 is the discipline of engagement, says we have a compelling scoreboard and we see it up in visual all the time. And in 5 seconds or less, I can know whether or not I'm winning. Discipline number 4, the discipline of accountability, encompasses all 3 of those. Matter of fact, those 3 disciplines don't work unless you have accountability. Now, how many of you know that accountability doesn't work that well if it's just you to you? We're really good at giving ourselves excuses. Matter of fact, we're really good at buying into our own BS excuses. We're salespeople. We're really good at excuses. How many of you know that accountability isn't as powerful if it's just you with somebody else? Because you flake on each other. You give each other excuses. You have inconsistencies in when you meet. The best accountability is in small groups of 5 to 8. And accountability, guys, is not a one-on-one with your manager. That's where ideas and inspiration and change to your commitments gets improved. Accountability isn't you to your coach. The best accountability is you amongst your peers. And if you can consider that the number one thing that would impact your results in 2024 is getting into a small group of like-minded people, similar production people, 5 to 8 people that meet at least once a week. Longer than that is too long, because it's like a pilot talking to air traffic control. What's the heading I need to be on at what altitude? If you've been off by a couple of degrees and it's been 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're way off course. When you're doing these accountability meetings, you have the scoreboard up in visual. Maybe you bring your score, maybe you bring your sheet, maybe you bring a snapshot of it, or maybe you share your screen on a Zoom call, and you simply check in. Here's the deal. You check in on your 3 things on your score. You say, my goal is this, my current progress, my goal is 25, I'm currently at 0. Hey, right now, especially through the holidays, you need to hear yourself say that you're at 0 to light a fire under yourself for your lead gen. My goal is 25. Currently, I'm at 0. I have a new appointment number every week that I have to hit. It's 2. The last 7 days I did this. Last week, I committed to you guys that I was going to do this. Here's how I did. Here's my commitment for the next 7 days. Next. The rule when you're doing accountability, I'm going to tell you this rule and you're never going to forget it. And it's meant to be a little tongue in cheek for a reason. The rule is no polishing a turd. Look, if you had a week that looked like a turd, it stunk like a turd, whatever it was, call it. Call it out. Don't not show up because you had a crappy week. Don't emotionally justify your crappy week. Own it. Hey guys, I had a bad week. I was inconsistent. I didn't get it done. I'm just going to own it. I'm going to get back on track this week. Somebody in that circle, somebody in that accountability group is going to reach out to you and say, hey, I'm here for you. If there's anything you need, I got you. Isn't that what you want? Accountability happens when you're in a group of your peers, 5 to 8. And you guys are accountable to one another and then there for each other to encourage, to lift each other up, and just be real and watch what happens as a result of keeping you on focus, acting on your lead measures, staying engaged in your score, and being accountable to one another. That's how you get out of the whirlwind. All right, guys, I hope that inspires you. I hope that launches your new year. Happy New Year. See you guys next time.